My employers actually care about me and I don't know how to feel. So, earlier this week I got the COVID bug. Called off work and got put on quarantine for a week. Now, I live alone and this is common knowledge amongst my workforce. You guys. First day multiple texts from seniors checking in on me. Second day my department head calls me to make sure I'm okay. If I need anything, told to take it easy. Third day more check-in texts. Offers for groceries. Fourth day morning check-in texts. Midday check. Fifth day morning check-in. Folks, these people have checked in on me more than my own family. I know this is our anti-work, but I needed people to know there are good employers out there. During the February freeze in Texas, I lost power for 2 weeks. I have a kid. She was 2.5 at the time. And it was a real struggle. I live in Houston but work remotely for a company in a different city in Texas. The company was sending on automated messages asking employees if they were fine. One a day. I would reply I was good and hear nothing back. On the 8th day I replied, honestly, I don't know if you can do anything, but we don't have drinkable water. I am bringing in untouched snow and melting it, but that is becoming less of an option and I am worried what we are going to do. I got back a message that just read, hang tight. Is there anything else you need? I told them we were fine on food for a few days, but if it lasted much longer we'd have to venture out and see if we could find something. I got a message back that said, understood. Can you verify, is the address you are at? Quote. A few hours later, some people I hadn't ever met before or since pulled up to my apartment. They were wearing shirts with my job's logo on it. They knocked on my door and asked where they could put the water. I, trying to be polite, told them they could just set it in the front door. They looked at me, could tell how exhausted I was, and asked, kitchen up those stairs? Quote. I said yes. They brought 4 cases of water, some toilet paper, and probably a few $100s of easy-to-make food staples. Bread, peanut butter, jelly, fruit cups, etc. That didn't require refrigeration. They also had instant heat packs and a stuffed snowman for my daughter. I was crying when they left and I never got their name. I've been offered other jobs making 10 to 40% more since that day, but I know what it's like to work at a company that actually cares about me now, and that makes it a lot harder to leave. Edit. Thanks for the awards. I wish this account wasn't so old and the world wasn't so dumb as that I felt comfortable naming the company. I don't want to risk someone on Reddit getting a bee up their ass and trying to get me fired one day, so I can't risk giving them the full credit they deserve. If you are very interested in knowing, shoot me a DM. And yes, we are hiring. That's awesome. Let me guess. Turnover rate is low and they don't struggle to have enough staff as well? I work for the government, but my supervisor has no kids and she kinda treats me like her kid. If I'm sick she's like, oh honey, just stay home and feel better. We'll be fine, and never ever makes me feel bad about it. She's the best. I feel so lucky. Sounds like you work with decent people. Take some donuts with you when you return. When my first daughter was born, she was in congestive heart failure from cardiomyopathy. My boss at the time pretended I was at work while I spent 2 months in the hospital from sunup to late at night with her and my ex, keeping me paid and insured. He was a good egg. That's awesome. I'm pregnant, and when I told my boss, a male boss, my first male boss, he was over the moon for me. Now I have extreme morning sickness and he checks in on me daily to make sure I'm okay and lets me know if I needed to go home. He'll come in and cover the rest of my shift for me. You notice how it's a lot of them and not just one person? Good work culture attracts wholesome people. That's why it's so important to quit toxic work environments to find a good one. People responding with kindness and sincerity? Sir, this is Reddit. Rolling on the floor laughing. Seriously. Very happy for you. Especially in this subreddit. Yay, same boat. It's awkward following this sub when you genuinely like your job. I've worked for plenty of real turds before, so I get it has to change. But when people say, all bosses are all employers, I always kinda wanna speak up. This is when you give the name of the company so they can be flooded with attaboys, and other companies will hopefully see it and follow suit. This should be the standard, not the blue moon. This absolutely belongs in anti-work. Also, yay for having awesome employers, and I hope you get well soon. Lots of fluids. My boss called me on Teams at the end of the day Friday to make sure I was doing okay after missing a day earlier in the week for bronchitis. He also asked if my husband had caught it and how he was doing. Best boss I've ever had. He checks in with me fairly regularly to make sure I'm not overloaded. It's great to hear that there is businesses that do actually care about the people they employed. Folded hands. We exist. The problem is we are few and far between, and almost always fail over the course of decades, or we get bought up by larger corporate types. Support your local and ethical small businesses, professionals, contractors, etc. This was actually really wholesome to read. Nice. I have a pretty caring finance team. While I'm not thrilled with the actual work I do every day, the team does generally care about each other if someone is out or has an emergency. I had a death in the family within a month of employment and was told to take as much time as needed. I was afraid they wouldn't believe me or thought I was going to ghost my position. My boss texted me a couple times giving condolences and to see how I was. I was back to work in a few days. Yeah, there are caring bosses, but it's probably 1 out of 100,000. It doesn't pay to treat your employees like dirt. My work promoted me 2 months before I went out on maternity leave. They're not perfect, but I've seen so many posts on here about people getting fired for being pregnant. My work sent me flowers and asked for pictures to include in the next all-staff meeting to make an announcement. I am 100% for employees' rights and absolutely hate capitalism in the US. But it's nice to get a good employer to make it suck less. My new manager, same company for 10 years, is a breath of fresh air. He and his manager are always reminding people to use their paid time off and stop letting it accrue so much. Friday afternoons they remind us to log off by 5 p.m. Not at, and enjoy our weekend. We have team meetings on the clock where we play online games. Daily check-ins to make sure we aren't overloaded with work. It's so nice. Just over a month in and they've already started my promotion paperwork. I was on a team where I was told I'd have to work a lot of OT. As a salaried employee, so no extra pay to get my work done. I was discouraged from taking time off for anything. Even Dr. APPTS. I asked about a promotion and was told they don't know what it requires and it would be at least a year until they could start the paperwork. It's insane how managers in the same company can be so different. I started a new job on July. In June, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. I reached out to my new manager to let her know, and that I will likely need extra time off for appointments. Without hesitation it was approved, with them saying, "Don't even worry if it's last minute appointments. Take it and we'll worry about it later." And a week later I got a massive shipment they sent me from a company called Spoonful of Comfort. In it was a whole bunch of soup, cookies, bread, and a comfy blanket. I wasn't even an employee yet. We've had some last-minute appointments. And it's been fine work-wise. Sometimes they even do it with pay. We then ended up getting COVID. Turns out they have a 5-day paid sick leave policy with COVID. I was able to rest up and nobody bugged me. Aside from you don't need to respond. Just checking on how you're feeling. On Slack here and there. My wife is getting a double mastectomy on Thursday. They immediately went into, "What do you need from us?" mode. Approved 2 weeks off with a contingency that if I need more time not to worry about it. And of course follow-up and treatment appointments. Whenever those happen, they then had me take it easy and assigned me a 2-day project, removing me from all normal shifts. I had it done in a few hours. So I caught up on some video games. Finally yesterday, my manager asked me what kind of things my wife likes, because they want to send her a care package while she recovers. Y'all, my job literally brings me to tears with their kindness. They are out there. My mom died suddenly a few months ago and I emailed my team letting them know I'd be out. But I didn't know how long. The responses were nothing but supportive. Responses were nothing but understanding. I was never given a time frame as to when to come back and only told to take as much time as I needed. I came back after a week by choice. Simply because I needed something else to occupy my mind, and even then they kept asking whether I was ready, and please don't feel like I had to be back. And I'm absolutely 100% essential to what goes on there. A few years back my central air conditioning went out. And because it was in the middle of COVID, it was a big deal for work purposes but also for my family since the kids were schooling at home. My boss offered to give me one of his old window units to hold me over. And even offered to deliver it for me even though we don't even live in the same state. There are better places out there. I don't get paid what I should and that's a problem, but I'm also treated like a human being and that's a huge benefit. And since everyone here is always asking to name for shame, let me name for fame. The company is AAA.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.